Welcome to the Asbestos Knowledge Empire.
What does asbestos management mean to you?
I used to really struggle with the asbestos management at my site, but now it's a breeze.
It used to be really expensive. I was paying loads, but now I've got my asbestos power team in place. It's so much easier.
Asbestos can be a pain in the arse if not handled right.
We had to stop the job because asbestos was discovered. Now we don't have that problem.
Asbestos management is easier than you think. Asbestos management. Be proactive, not reactive. Think about asbestos first, not last.
And now your hosts, best-selling authors and asbestos experts, Ian Stone and Neil Munro.
Hi, welcome to the Asbestos Knowledge Empire. I'm Ian Stone.
And I'm Neil Munro.
So today we're talking about the 3 things that you know, or you think you know, if you have the wrong asbestos consultants on board.
Yeah.
So
I think sometimes you kind of get a gut feeling, don't you?
Yeah.
Obviously, there may be occasions when it's black and white. So they've either messed their job up, they've done something wrong, or they've not got the report back in time. These are all kind of black and white scenarios, aren't they?
Yeah, it's either done it or haven't done it. Yeah. But what we're talking about today, the 3 kind of things that perhaps aren't as black and white.
Yes.
So the first one, babysitting. We're not talking 16-year-old girl looking after your children while you pop out to the theatre. We're talking about you either having that feeling or you know that it kind of starts that you have to start babysitting them.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is kind of you have to mollycoddle them instead of just giving them a project to crack on with and then them completing it and bringing it back to you. You have to start checking up on them and how are you putting a call into them or dropping an email going, how are you getting on with that? I've not heard anything from you.
Yeah, you're more having to kind of push them and steer them and manage them a little bit, double checking, like you said, checking up on them, see what they're doing. And you kind of get that underlying feeling of they should be the ones that are kind of steering you and guiding you and coming to you with information, updates. And you're kind of having to chase them a little bit more than you should.
Exactly, yeah. They should be bringing the problems and the solution collectively and presenting them to you. Whereas we're talking about when, like you say, you have that feeling of, are they cracking on all right? Are they getting on okay?
Yes.
And you do have to keep checking in with them, which shouldn't be the case. They should be bringing the information to you. There should be a real good two-way communication.
That was the word that I was going to use. The big key thing on that is communication. It's kind of like giving you the information, because sometimes with asbestos projects, there's a bit of a delay in between, obviously, receiving the order, then the asbestos consultancy going to do the job, and then you getting the end product, whether that be a report or completion certificate. And sometimes there's a big gap between those different key points. And if you don't hear anything from the consultant, then you kind of start to have rumblings on what's going on. Is it all going to plan? And the real big thing for us is communicating that process through the whole time. So, for instance, if you're doing an asbestos survey report, it's communicating between the times of when we've done the actual physical survey and to when the actual report is received. There's communications on, yes, we're cracking on, we're working on your report, we're doing your bulk samples, and it kind of gives you the client the reassurance that, you know, we're still thinking about it and we've got their best interests at heart.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The flip side of that is when you don't hear anything and you put the call into them and say, oh, how's the asbestos survey report coming along? Oh, yeah, no, we've just got to that. We're doing that one next.
Yes.
And that kind of scenario where you kind of feel that you are being left to the back of the queue until you actually pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And like you say, that essentially leads nicely into having their own best interests at heart.
Yes.
And it shouldn't be the person who shouts loudest gets served quickest.
Yeah.
But that is a case. And the reason for that is because they have their own best interests at heart, which could be putting other clients above you because they're either shouting louder than you are or they're paying for a different type of service or something like that. And then essentially they're looking after their own interests and sorting out their own end to either earn more money, get less headaches, put jobs off perhaps that they're a bit more complex, they don't want to get into at the moment.
Yeah, and I would say that comes with a company that hasn't really got the adequate and correct systems in place to manage the processes. And that suggests that they're kind of more firefighting as opposed to it being within a slick system where every client should receive the same service.
Definitely.
And that is a real big. If you haven't got those systems in place and you haven't got those, back of house procedures, then, like Ian said, you do fall into we better do that one because they're chasing it. They better do that one because they're a bit annoying. Do you know what I mean? It goes into that sort of system of,
That's it. I mean, that's why we put the Asbestos Antidote together.
Yes.
That's the fully systemised beginning to end for every client that we put all clients through now.
And it is a stepped process that the client can see where they are on that journey.
Yeah. They literally know where they're at. They know what's going to happen next. They know what's likely to come up. And it is just a system in place.
Yeah.
But equally, having a system in place from the consultant side, it's kind of having the system in place from your side and the consultants knowing your systems. And that is another key thing of people think they understand you as a client and they believe they know what you want, where, I don't know, perhaps all you want is the bulk certificate as quickly as possible. Yet the consultant doesn't know that because they've not taken the time to understand you as a client. Yeah. And what they do, they'll go off and spend weeks and weeks and weeks putting together this big report. Yet all you actually wanted was the bulk cert. Yeah. So then they're not delivering what you wanted in line with your systems.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very important point. It's actually taking the time. If the consultant's actually taking the time to get to know you, and that may be as simple as a phone call, a detailed phone call, just outlining exactly what it is and how you want to work. Even better if it's a face-to-face meeting and get a real understanding of your company, your background, what's important to you. So then we can best match how we deliver that service too.
And that's literally the only way to go about it.
Yeah.
Because if a consultant's just coming in saying, we'll do your surveys, we'll crack on, well, they don't even know you. I mean, there's no two businesses the same. Even businesses that are within the same sector, be it education or retail or whatever, everybody runs differently and everybody's got a different back of house procedure. Everybody's got different ways of working. And you can only truly kind of deliver and meet a client's needs if you have fully understood what they're about.
And then that sort of goes on to what actual recommendations that the asbestos consultant actually provides you. Because if we don't understand your end goal or how you work, then that does really sort of affect how we recommend the best thing you need to manage your asbestos.
Exactly.
So that's really important. Getting that understanding can then really sort of highlight and pinpoint the exact correct asbestos management procedure for you during while we do the works.
Definitely. So those are just three simple, quick things that kind of do highlight. You might have that feeling in the back of your mind. If you do have it, I would get on the phone to them and nip it in the bud straight away, see if you can get on top, or go elsewhere and look elsewhere for a consultant that is going to kind of deal with you.
Be bothered to deal with you.
Exactly, and deliver the service that you're looking for.
Yeah. I hope you found that useful. Remember, asbestos first, it's not last.